Hari Om children, I'm sure all of you are having an amazing time at home. For us, our mothers are revered every single day of our life. Well, not just mothers, we have respected and revered our women in different forms across the length and breadth of this country. We've had amazing women who have brought laurels to all of us, who are responsible for our freedom today, like Rani Lakshmi Bai, Kittur Rani Chennamma, Velu Nachiyar. Well, these were all queens and they had a responsibility of their kingdom. What about some of them who were in the background, but not really queens, but made supreme sacrifice for the country? Yes, today's story is set in the 16th century in Chittor, Rajasthan, when Raja Sangram Singh was the king and Rani Karnavati was his queen. They had a child named Uday Singh. Yes, the same Uday Singh after whom Udaipur has been named. He was taken care by a lady called Panna Dai. And Panna Dai is going to be the hero of our story. Panna meant emerald and Dai meant nursemaid. Panna Dai was taking care of Uday Singh right from the time he was born. It was at that time that Bahadur Shah of Gujarat attacked Chittor, and in the war that followed, Maharaja Sangram Singh was killed. Karnavati had to take the decision of killing herself after her husband died. Before doing that, she took her child and handed it over to Panna Dai and said, Panna Dai, I am handing over the responsibility of the throne of Chittor. Please take care of him until he turns 18 and ascends the throne. Panna Dai promised and said, I will take care of him like my own child. Now Panna Dai also had a child of her own called Chandan. She took care of both the children alike and was bringing them up. In the meanwhile, Banveer Singh, who was a cousin of Uday Singh, ascended the throne temporarily to take care of it until Uday Singh turned 18. But greed took over and he decided he didn't want to return the kingdom after Uday Singh turned 18. So he decided to kill him so that he can remain the king forever. Panna Dai got to know of this. She didn't know what to do. She was panicked. First she decided, let me take both the children and run away. But then she realized that there would be spies all over and they could be found like this and be killed. So then she made one of the most courageous decisions ever. She called both the children and said, why don't we play a game? Chandan, why don't you wear Uday's clothes? And Uday, why don't you wear Chandan's clothes? So both the children exchanged the clothes and started laughing and playing around. Then she called Uday Singh and said, why don't you go and hide in that basket outside while I ask Chandan to search for you? After Uday Singh went and hid there, she made Chandan sleep on the bed which Uday Singh usually slept. She covered his face and waited. Banveer Singh came. He asked, where is Uday Singh? She just looked down and quietly pointed towards the bed where her own son was sleeping. Banveer Singh was so mad with rage, he didn't even bother to lift the sheet. He picked his sword and cut it. The head rolled towards Panna Dai's feet. He gave out a laugh and walked away. She didn't flinch, she didn't cry when he was around. But after he left, tears rolled down her eyes. She carried the lifeless body of her child, walked to a river nearby and cremated. Quietly in the middle of the night, she carried Uday Singh on her shoulders, crossed the river and went into the forest. She took the help of the tribals, the Bhils who were living there, to bring Uday Singh up. She took care of him till he turned 18. They both came back to Chittor and he was rightfully made the king. The day he ascended the throne, Panna Dai heaved a sigh of relief and she said to Karnavati, I have kept up my promise. Dear children, wasn't this amazing? She gave up her own child to bring up Uday Singh, who was a rightful heir, so that the king could live, the kingdom could live with the right king. This is a story of one of the mother who made a supreme sacrifice. These are the mothers we need to revere on an everyday basis, right? Let's remember them and always pray to give courage to all of us. Hari Om.